Welcome back. You're now watching Trend Wave on Breakfast Central. Now, over the weekend, Muslim pilgrims from Osun State, Nigeria, who are observing the 2023 Hajj in Saudi Arabia, staged protests against the poor quality of food served them by the State Pilgrims Welfare Board. Now, in a trending video, the pilgrims were seen rejecting dinner brought to their hotel in Medina, shouting that the quality does not correspond to the fees they pay the State Pilgrims Welfare Board. According to reports, the pilgrims paid as much as 3 million naira for the Hajj, and the rising tension began when some of the Osun State pilgrims visited Lagos State camp and discovered those in the camp were getting more quality food. Now, several reactions have trailed the story, with some saying that the 3 million naira paid is too small to cover all of their expenses to and from Hajj. But let's take a look at this video. It's too small, and that they'll rather it's taken back, that they can't stand having this type of food. So that's basically all that they're saying in this video. They're saying lots of things at the same time, but basically saying that the food is too small and it better be taken back. But we'll see how people are reacting to this one on social media very quickly. Now, that's a comment from High and Classy. High and Classy goes on to say, government should stop subsidizing or sponsoring all these religious trips. Serving God na personal something. You want to answer JP, Alaji, Alaja, use your money, let them sponsor more youth on technology than this. That's according to High and Classy. Bishop Oksano says, what is the motive behind government sponsoring people to pilgrimage? Obviously, just to loot taxes. Now, some of these people can't even feed their families. And it goes on to say, ready, that's in local parlance. Let's take a look at more reactions to this story. Chineji says, until there's an end to this scam, we will keep wasting our scarce resources in the name of pilgrimage. What benefits are those? Put an end to all of this, be it Christian, Muslim, etc. Stop enriching those countries, and it goes in brackets, Israel and Mecca. We'll take one last reaction. Life of Ben goes on to say, other countries are sponsoring their citizens to study and learn new innovations. Nigeria is still sponsoring religion. And it's there puking, saying, I'm sorry, not sorry. Well, that's as much as we can take on this story. But let's leave Nigeria now to Guinea, where a Guinean woman identified as Sayyada Fanta has been reportedly arrested for claiming to have the power to pray on top of water. Now, it's quite interesting, right? Now, this woman who went viral on social media for praying on top of a water body in the Western Province has been reportedly picked up by the Guinean police. According to reports, passersby stood by watching this woman in shock, as many couldn't believe how one person could defy gravity to float on water. However, it was discovered that this woman placed a piece of wood on the shallow part of the sea and then laid a praying mat on it to deceive people that she stood on the water to pray. Talk about Wonder Woman. Well, is this action enough reason for her to get arrested? We'll take a look at how people are reacting to this story on social media. Debem says, I'm not sure, but I strongly believe that the greatest scam ever pulled was via religion and spirituality. Take a look at more reactions to this story. Abefe Okin says, some people just they make believers doubt their belief and unbelievers mock believers. Basically saying some people like to make believers doubt their beliefs and unbelievers mocking other believers. Well, more reactions to this story. Kings for Real says, good, let her go and prove the power. Some Muslims have started copying those men of business, calling themselves men of God. Now, you're saying men of God are calling them men of God in this regard is calling them men of business. It says fingering people's brain to extort them. Whatever nonsense she's doing is not Islamic. Nigerian government needs to start arresting their counterparts in Nigeria also. Let's take a look at more reactions to this story. Keita says, Guinea don't blow. She was actually arrested for scam. Apparently, she has scammed some people for the sum of 100 million Guinean currency that she will show them where to. And it goes on to say that she will show them where to mine gold worth 400 kilograms. After collecting the money, she disappeared and she was using face masks to cover her face. I guess karma has come knocking on her door. So now Keita is there giving us reasons for why this happened, saying that it's actually not about the her praying on the mat and praying on the sea and whatever. But police officials that arrested this lady have clarified that her offense was not connected to her having prayed on the waves, but they have, however, refused to divulge the reasons for this arrest. And that's why people are saying that, okay, talk about timing. It was when she was on the water praying that they came and arrested her. So it's looking like that's actually the reason, and seeing that they've also not been able to divulge the reasons. I mean, that's a reaction from someone saying that it's another reason, but the police can't tell us that this is the precise reason. But I tell you that it's quite interesting stories on social media, and I tell you that religion just makes people do lots and lots of things. The religion has its good side, but definitely people are doing some kind of really quirky, funny stuff in the world, and then we see these things on social media. But I want to bring you, Osaoge and Olive, into this story. First of all, let's talk about that one that is happening in Saudi Arabia, talking about the meals that these people are being served, and talking about the country as well, sponsoring these people for Hajj. First of all, is this a good thing or a bad thing, or you're just in between?
I agree with those who said Nigeria, what business does Nigeria as a country have sponsoring people for religious pilgrimage? I mean, it should not be part of the national budget in any way, but I saw a report, you know, that 2021, Nigeria had budgeted 2.6 billion naira for religious pilgrimage, of course, both to Mecca and to Jerusalem, which makes absolutely no sense, because 2.6 billion naira will do perfectly well, you know, in the education and healthcare sector. So I'm not sure why it is being paid for people to go and, you know, answer Justice of Peace or Alaji or Alaja and come back to Nigeria. It makes absolutely no sense. If you want to go to Saudi Arabia, go, you know, save up money, go to Saudi Arabia, come back as an Alaji or as a, you know, JP, and, you know, live your life. You know, it should be none of the Nigerian government's business. And so they have no right to be complaining, you know, about the quality of life that they're living over there or what they are receiving over there. Well, those are my honest thoughts. And, you know, on the second story, yes, you know, the whole idea of, you know, fraud in religion has been there, you know, for millions of years. It's not new. I'm not sure exactly who to believe now, if she's arrested because of the 100 million, you know, scam, or because of, you know, praying on the carpet, you know, seemingly walking on water. I'm not sure which it is, but, you know, I'm not shocked at all.
Copy and paste, literally, you know, a number of things that Osaoge has said. It's just interesting to see. And yes, I do agree that we should allow people be able to sponsor their trips. If they're going to put a budget for pilgrimage, for those of, you know, those people who are not interested in pilgrimage and want to go on holidays, they should put a budget for them. I probably personally don't, you know, understand why the government has to sponsor that, because I do feel that it's money that could be used.
How many Alajis have changed Nigeria's fortunes? Or how many JPs?
That's a story for another day.
I mean, I would like to go on a pilgrimage, but I don't think that I expect the government to sponsor me. Something I would save towards and work towards. And I think that, I mean, I don't even have access, unfortunately. Some of the things, you would end up realizing that is another scam, because they set aside a certain amount of money. That money will not be used to enter into somebody's pocket. And people will put in their family members, put in fraudulent and fictitious names, just to be able to say, okay, we have covered a certain number of people who are going on pilgrimage, but then the money is getting into someone's pocket. This is the year, hopefully, that we start to cut out all those leaking pockets, all those areas where we're seeing so much fraud being perpetrated, not just with pilgrim, in the oil sector, you know, all sectors really. That there's a general sweeping and combing of the government spaces to cut cost of governance. But yeah, thank you so much.
I think I'm actually more taken aback by the Guinean woman's story, because I'm thinking, if you want to prove that your God can make you defy gravity, but now coming in a very fraudulent manner to prove this, I think it just defeats the purpose of religion, and it just makes me really heartbroken. I mean, because even if that's not the reason why she's being arrested, I just feel like it just makes a fool of what we practice when we say we are Christians, Muslims, or whatever religion it is we're practicing.
Really.
Yeah, exactly.
Fraud is not anything. Religious fraud is the norm of the day. Every other day you're seeing one clip on social media of some person who is claiming to be a cleric, you know, in the church or in the mosque, doing something really hideous that does not represent what that faith actually stands for. I just think that people should be wise, open your eyes, and, you know, for those who have a faith that they believe in, understand your faith for yourself, so that you're not swayed and thrown around here and there by the waves of doctrine and fraud.
Absolutely.
Anyway, thank you so much, Liz, for bringing us Trend Wave Stories.
My pleasure.